Why do you build me up? Buttercup, baby, just to let me down and mess me around, and the worst of all.
What is going on, guys? I am back with a review of a day at an amusement park, and today I will be discussing June 28th, 2021 at Hersheypark. Now, this day was very eventful because just the start of it, we ran into 2 accidents on the way to Hershey. That was crazy enough. And then, when we finally got to Hersheypark, we could not even find a parking spot, and season pass for parking at first, which was insane. And so, anyway, we eventually found a spot right at the last second in the season pass holder lot, so that was great. And yeah, so after all that chaos, we entered the park, and it was like a huge crowd today. It was slammed for Monday. We already missed an hour of the day at Hershey because of those 2 accidents, and we couldn't find a freaking parking spot. It was crazy. And so after we got in the park, finally we headed to Fahrenheit, where while we were in line, it broke down. And yeah, but we still got on Fahrenheit as our first ride of the day, though, and that was successful. And so after Fahrenheit, we headed to Storm Runner, and that was a really good ride on that. And after Storm Runner, we headed to Dispatch. After Fahrenheit, we headed to Dispatch Pizzeria. I forgot about that part, so I'm sorry about that, guys. But after Dispatch Pizzeria, for reals, we headed to Storm Runner. And that was a good ride on Storm Runner. And yeah, so after Storm Runner, we headed to, we were originally going to go to Great Bear after Storm Runner, but the line was too long. It was out of the queue, and you know how Great Bear's operations have been. And anyway, after Great Bear, we headed to Sky Rush, and that was a good ride on that. Although it was broken down while we entered the line, but we still got a ride in on it, which was good. And so after Sky Rush, we headed to Tidal Force for another ride in on that, and it was a good ride on Tidal Force. Yeah, it's still better than Whitewater Landing at 20. And yeah, after Tidal Force, we headed to the boardwalk to enjoy a day there. But our first ride in the boardwalk was Whitecap Racer, and that took up a long time because the ride up there, he only cared about the fast track people, and he didn't let us in until it was already a while yet. So it took way too long to get on Whitecap Racer. And yeah, after Whitecap Racer, we headed to swim in their wave pool, the Shore, which had a freaking queue. That's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen at an amusement park, is a queue line for the freaking wave pool. That was so bizarre, but I guess it's because of the amount of people or something, but man, that was freaking bizarre. But we still enjoyed our time in Hershey's wave pool. They do longer wave cycles than the wave pools at Dorney, so I'll give it that. But it's just weird that they have a freaking queue for it. And after we swam in the Shore, we headed to Whirlwind because that's my personal favorite slide on Coastline Plunge. Since we figured after Whirlwind, we'd just leave the boardwalk because it was too slammed. And before Whirlwind, we got a drink. And yeah, so anyway, after the Shore and the drink, we headed to Whirlwind for a good ride on that. So I got to ride my favorite slide on Coastline Plunge, and my favorite slide in all of the boardwalk. And then after Whirlwind, we just left the boardwalk and then headed to the Claw for a good ride on that. And it was an eventful ride on the Claw because I was not the only man earthing on the Claw for once. And plus, there was a full squad of earthing girls in the row right next to us. All 4 girls in that row were earthing. I was earthing, and a man was earthing, which made it eventful. And at the end, some kid was like, feeling groovy, you know? He's like, yeah. And yeah, that was a good ride on the Claw in general, too. We got the high side for the most part of it. And yeah, that was a good ride on my favorite flat at Hershey. And after that good and eventful ride on the Claw, we headed to Triple Towers for a good ride in on that. This time we did the Reese's Tower, and Reese's Tower is good, you guys. Like, I got 2 amazing pops of airtime on it. Like, my gosh. And yeah, so after Reese's Tower, we headed to Great Bear, and the wait kind of sucked, but it was funny though because some kid in the queue line was earthing out of nervousness, and his dad was like, yo, put your shoes on, which was really funny. But it was a good ride on Great Bear in general. We got some hang time over that last corkscrew, so good ride on my favorite coaster at Hershey. Favorite coaster at Hershey. Favorite coaster at Hershey. So after Great Bear, we headed to Comet for a good ride on that. And that was a good ride on Comet. In general, we hadn't ridden it in a while, and Comet received its Comet is an ace landmark now, along with Thunderhawk at Dorney Park. So again, congratulations goes to both Comet and Thunderhawk. And yeah, so after Comet, we headed to Candymonium for our last ride of the day. And because the ride ops took so long to dispatch Candymonium, we actually got on it past closing, so we ended up getting a really good sunset ride on Candymonium. Yeah, we got a good sunset ride on Candymonium. And it was a good ride on Candymonium. Got some airtime like always. And the Kisses fountain was on, so I was able to stare at that with its lights on while going through the helix that wraps around the fountain, which was so cool. The fountain was actually on for us and its lights. I love it when the fountain's on. I love it when the fountain's on while we're on Candymonium because it gives me the good opportunity to stare at it while we're going through that freaking helix. And so anyway, after Candymonium, I changed into my shoes and socks, and then that officially ended our day at Hersheypark. It was eventful, but it was good. And yeah, make sure to reply to me your thoughts on this video, and make sure to check out my merch store on Bonfire. I'll have a link in the description. I sell face masks, short sleeve shirts, long sleeve shirts, coffee mugs, sweatshirts, and all the things you could possibly want on Bonfire that they allow you to sell. So make sure you go check that out. I'll have a link in the description. And I will see you in the next